So now we're in the saddle, and everybody, and I mean everybody, is a little bit crooked. We have a little tighter hip and a little looser hip. So when you sit down, one of the things you want to do is to make sure that your seat is square with the saddle. We can see that the saddle is square with the horse because the gullet, which is the middle of the saddle, it's like a hole down the middle, and the break in the pad is right down the middle of the horse's spine, which you can see by the little indent on his rear end. So what we're going to have our rider do is that she's going to put each hand back behind her by the edge of the cantle, and she's going to make sure that her seat is equal on both sides. So she's going to need to stand up a little bit, move her hip toward the gate a little bit, and then she's going to sit down. This is just a self-check. It's like putting your seatbelt on when you get in the car. You just want to find the center of the horse. The reason that's important is because if you're sitting off to one side, the horse has to brace on that side in order to hold you up, and that makes him stiff and more unwilling to do what you want. It also can eventually make him lame if you always ride heavier on one side. So the next thing she's going to do is we're going to check our front to back. So you're going to put your hands right behind you up by the pockets, and she's going to feel which hip is a little farther back. Everybody has one. So the hip that's farther back, she's going to leave alone. The hip that's farther forward, she's going to lift that knee up, take it out of the stirrup, lift it up, and then she's going to scooch her hip back toward the back of the saddle just a little bit till her fingers feel about the same. And Mo, body language, he's like, what are you doing? He wants to know why I'm standing on a mounting block behind him. He keeps looking around because he can't see behind him. So he keeps looking around to see what I am doing. Good boy, Mo. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to be looking at, or feeling actually, and this is a feel thing, is we're going to feel which seat bone is heavier. Thumb on your right rib cage, and you're going to move it to the left, the other right rib cage. And there. Now put your hand down. There, you got it. And now you're centered. Now we have our rider centered in the saddle. She's going to check into her feet and make sure the weight in her feet feels the same. It should be about 3 ounces with a soft, flexible ankle. What you do is I want you to get a chair, and I want you to just sit down in your chair how you would normally sit. And ladies, sit down how I asked you. Okay, nobody is straight. We talked about that when you were on the horse, and it's very true. One of the things you can do that's really good for your posture is to always sit straight and carry your body as straight and equally as you can. It will help you as you get older, and I know a lot of you are really young yet, but as you get older, just take my word for it, the straighter you are, the better your body will last. And it'll make it better for your horse because they will also last longer because you won't be overweighting one side or making one side stiff. So ladies, we're going to go ahead and kind of check into our hips. So we're going to put our hands on each side of our hips, and we're going to touch where the chair touches, like where your leg runs into your buttocks. And if you feel like you're a little bit crooked, I want you to stand up and then move so that your pressure on your fingers is absolutely equal. So you're absolutely centered in your chair. So let's go ahead and stand up. Move yourself, just go ahead and sit back down. When you sit back down, keep your hands there and see if you can find the center of where you're at. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to check, in the saddle it's fairly easy because you can press against the cantle, but I want you to look at your knees. So look down at your knees, and you're going to notice that one knee may be a little farther ahead than the other. Neither one of you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to turn you around so the students can see what that looks like. Okay, now go ahead and even up your knees. Nice, stand up and even up your knees. There you go. Okay, so our next exercise is now that you have your knees even and your seat is fairly even in your chair, your pretend saddle, I want you to feel your seat bones. You're going to notice one of them is a little more prominent than the other. You can feel that bone underneath your buttocks. So what I want you to do is tell me which one it is in the black, Macy. right? How about you in the green, Linda?
Also the right.
Also the right. So both of you guys need to take your right hand down and poke yourself right here and move your rib cage toward the left until you feel your right bone be equal with your left. Did you guys feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did you feel it?
Yep.
Okay, so now what you've done is you've lined up your spine so that all the weight is equal between, from your upper body is now equal into your hips. And that will make you ride with your hips freer and able to follow your horse better. So now we're gonna stand up. So pay attention to what foot feels heavier. And because we're in a circle, it's a little bit different. Now turn around and go that way and do one more circle. Now are you breathing? Are you using soft eyes? Good, thinking about your hips being loose. Okay, now which one was heavier, Macy?
Right.
Which one was heavier?
Right.
Okay, so you both were on the right. So now what we're gonna do, and that has to do with dominant leg and non-dominant leg. So your dominant leg is your right, that's your pushing leg. Your non-dominant leg is your left, that's your post leg. So what I want you to do this time is I want you to pay attention to how this changes your body, but you're gonna push harder with your left leg and step lighter in your right leg. Okay, so we're gonna go that way first. You're gonna turn to your left and circle to your right. Are you breathing? You gotta be breathing. So this is a homework I want you guys to be doing. I want you to be practicing when you're walking. Let's go that way. I want you to be practicing when you're walking to be centered, stepping a little heavier in your non-dominant leg and a little lighter in your dominant leg. Could you ladies feel a difference?
Yeah, you really had to think about it.
You have to think about it. And did you notice that your hips were looser?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do one more circle. Let's go that way. And we're going to just notice your hips. All right, now I want you to breathe. Put your hand on your stomach, look below your belly button and breathe in. Breathe out. Keep walking a second circle. Breathe in. Oh, that got better. So now that you're breathing, you noticed you got a little bit more fluid in your walk. Okay, there you go. Oh, it's already better. Keep equal in your feet. It's getting much better. So with a little practice, you're not only going to be able to ride a horse better, but you're actually going to be able to use your body in a more efficient manner. Very good. Thank you.